All right. Ready? All right. Welcome to Unrestricted with Ryan Johnson, Season 2, Episode 9. Today we are joined by Tracy Braxton. She's a certified personal trainer, a fitness model, and bodybuilder. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll get right into it. I ask everybody the same question to start off. Where does your story begin?
So for me, I did my undergrad at UTSA, and while I was pursuing that, I was working in a rehab facility, physical
Okay.
therapy.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and I was pursuing my kines degree at the same time with the intentions of going to PT school.
Okay.
But then later on down the road, I had kids.
Yeah.
Life happened.
Yep.
Got married, and PT school kind of got pushed to the back. I was presented with the opportunity to work as a trainer after being a stay-at-home mom for 6 years.
Okay.
And it was something I felt like I could utilize my degree with.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's kind of where it started for me, was just finding something to utilize my degree with until I can get into PT school, because that is ultimately what I want to do.
Yeah.
After my second daughter, I gained a lot of weight, and I was huge. So I basically used myself as like a guinea pig with diet, nutrition, getting active. And then I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. Like, I think I can make some money doing this.
Yeah.
Especially since I've been through it myself. Kind of can set the tone for the direction of where we need to go with how to approach it. For each person's different.
Sure.
Each individual is different.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, it started in a rehab setting, switched over to being a stay-at-home mom, and then.
How was your experience in the rehab center working there? How did that I don't know how did that inform you as a trainer? How did that inform you and help you and grow your experiences now, or to where you're at now? How did that impact you?
So in rehab, I exposed myself to all different settings. I was doing geriatric, I was doing pediatric, acute. Most of it was with the elderly.
Yeah.
And I saw a different perspective of, like, if you don't take care of yourself,
Interesting.
what can happen?
Yeah.
Things are going to happen anyway with age. But I just figured, like, take care of your body, use it or lose it type of mentality. Because that's where a lot of them were, like, the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
Very sedentary lifestyles.
Yeah. We're kind of at a time, I guess, like, we're close to 2020, and I think that like as a society, we have a lot more awareness of physical fitness and the impact, and the we understand it more, even if we don't all abide by dietary what we should be doing diet and fitness wise. We have an awareness of it as a society. And I would venture to guess, with no facts, but I would venture to guess that the elderly now, kind of coming up through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, didn't have that same education, that same awareness. Do you think that in the future, those that will be giving geriatric care, do you think that they will find that when we are old, right, that we will be, I guess, more fit? Do you think we'll have the same? I wonder if we'll have the same issues. Do you think?
I think we will be more fit. We're moving, and even those that are older now, like the silver sneakers, they're becoming more fit.
Sure.
To some extent, it's almost saturated, like the fitness industry,
Yeah.
But I do believe the generation that's coming up behind them will definitely be more proactive with that.
Yeah.
Living healthier lifestyles. It's also the cities that you're in too, like Austin, for example.
Yeah.
It kind of caters to it.
Yeah.
To being more healthy.
I feel like there's a lot of CrossFit in Austin. Like
right?
just, I mean, more fitness. I don't mean that in a derogatory. I just mean, like, I feel like every time I see a CrossFit post on Instagram, it's like, oh, it's in Austin. Oh, that one's in Austin.
Yeah, for real. And then, like, they just have, like, a lot more to offer outdoors, like trails and, like, parks. And San Antonio is slowly getting there.
Yeah.
But I do feel that we'll be more healthier. Our generation.
Yeah.
I feel.
Kind of growing or moving on from that experience at the rehab center, but so you gave care predominantly to that geriatric demographic, and the areas that you worked on. So I mean, how has that, though, as a trainer now? How does that help you with your clients?
So right now I'm training at two different locations. So LA Fitness is my predominant place.
Yeah.
And because of my experience, I get a lot of the injury
Okay.
clients. So like
Interesting.
if they've got knees, total knee replacements,
Yeah.
hips, shoulders, strokes, I get a lot of those people. So it kind of works out to my advantage
Yeah. I-
with that. Although we're in a gym setting, it's not really catered to rehab style.
Sure.
You have to get creative.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely it's beneficial. I love working with injuries.
Interesting. That's interesting. Where do you, I guess, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years pertaining to personal training?
So I'd like to go private, eventually step out of
Yeah.
the commercial.
Yeah.
And eventually like to open up my own like indoor boot camp style
Yeah.
setting.
Okay.
Something that's not affected by the weather.
Sure.
Um,
We definitely got crazy weather here in San Diego.
Yeah,
It's either
so
hot
unpredictable.
or flash floods at the blink of an eye.
No, you gotta be ready for all types of weather in the same day. But yeah, ultimately, that's what I would like to do is find a little area that I can rent out and do like my own indoor style.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Uh, how has being a mother impacted you, or impacted you as a businesswoman?
It's definitely made it more challenging.
Yeah.
I've got two kids, so both being very young, it's hard, between my work, my school, my training,
Yeah.
and then their school, homework, dinner, bath, the daily routines in and out.
Time management has to be on point.
It's literally structured from the moment I wake up to
Yeah.
the moment I go to bed. It's not always pretty, but we get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What has been the greatest? Well, I'll start with this. What are challenges you face going back to personal training? What are challenges that a personal trainer or you face as a personal trainer? What are typical challenges that you face, and how do you get over those?
Initially, it would have been like marketing and getting yourself out there,
Yeah.
but social media has made that a lot easier.
Yes.
And then keeping clients consistent is
Yeah.
really hard. They want to see results overnight, right away.
And it's a process, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a process. It takes time.
Yeah.
But once they start seeing their body changing, they start seeing results in other ways, not necessarily weight all the time. Just able to walk up a flight of stairs easier, or able to, those little things like that to reinforce that what they're doing is working.
Sure.
So their consistency tends to be better once they start seeing progress. So, I mean, outside of keeping them consistent, I think if someone really, really is genuinely ready to make these changes and pursue this different type of lifestyle, like everything else kind of falls into place.
Sure.
So,
what are the biggest joys that you get, or the biggest reward from being a personal trainer?
being a part of their journeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing their transformations.
Yeah.
Being their cheerleader, their counselor, like kind of just like watching them start from one, I've had people in wheelchairs. This is not necessarily training, but like the rehab style.
Sure.
Come in wheelchairs, leave walking.
Wow.
Wow. Just being part of those journeys is what makes it all worth it.
That's be really rewarding.
It is very rewarding. And I don't take the credit because I just tell them what to do. They do the work.
Well, you're part of it.
I mean,
to be part of that is that's
accountability.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of them need. It's
Sure.
not that they don't know. Some don't know what to do, so it is knowledge too.
Yeah.
But you don't really need a trainer forever. I think that a year or so is a good time frame to get you the knowledge, to get you started and going, and then after a while you can do it on your own. But a lot of people just need accountability.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I love to see their journeys.
Interesting. What has or who has been the biggest inspiration for you, whether it's in the fitness world or forming your own kind of your own business as a personal trainer? Who inspires you?
For me, it's honestly my kids.
Okay.
It's not anyone in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
The last couple of months of my life have been really bad, like really, really bad, for different reasons, all personal. I separated from their father, and it's just been really hard. But I have to do this for them, you know. And I'm passionate about fitness.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I've always believed that if you're going to do something, pick something that you love,
Yes.
you know, so that it doesn't feel like work.
Mm.
And I have fun with what I do.
Yeah.
But they are definitely my number one pushers. The only thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that keeps me going.
That's
Because
awesome.
without them, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah. That's awesome. How much does kind of going to kind of stay on this theme of physical fitness?
Mm-hmm.
How much does diet play into the role? So if I'm somebody that is, I'm making this decision, look, I haven't really been physically fit, haven't really physically active. I want to change that lifestyle. I want to get in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, diet is always an issue. Like I'll go to the gym and then I'm like, where are the Pop-Tarts when I get home? Like where's the cherry Pop-Tarts? I need them now, right? How important is that diet to physical fitness?
That it's 80%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like the most important. So when I get a client, the very first thing I do is I sit down and we talk a little bit about their goals, and then we go straight into diet.
Yeah.
Because everything we do in the gym is canceled out if you're not eating right. That mentality is very common to have. As long as you're working out, you can eat whatever you want.
I like that mentality sometimes.
But yeah, if the diet's not right,
yeah,
I mean, we're just going to keep spinning our wheels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like me, for example, personally, I've always eaten healthy. I've always been active. But when I started with the competing and the bodybuilding, my diet was what changed. And that's when I started to see my body change.
Interesting.
And so I'll always show my clients like what I looked like when I started, which was about 135, and what I look like a couple weeks ago, more presently.
Yeah.
And I'm still 135. Like the scale has not changed, but
yeah.
I look
the physique has
different,
changed.
and it was all nutrition.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So you kind of touched on bodybuilding. When did you get started with that?
This month makes a year.
Okay.
Ago. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Been doing it a solid year. I've only done one show, April of last year, and my next show will be again same exact time frame. April is coming up here.
How did you? Well, what was it that I want to do that? What made you say that I want to do that?
Honestly, it was never something that I ever imagined doing.
Yeah.
A coworker of mine, another trainer, he competes, and one day we were just talking. He was like, "I think you could totally compete."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you could totally compete, and you could be ready like in a few months." And I ran with it.
Wow.
Yeah, and never looked back.
What did that? I mean, so the moment you were like, "Yeah, I'll do that." I mean, what goes into that? I can't imagine, because you talked about diet.
Yes.
And when I hear the word diet, I'm like, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just like, again, where are my pink Pop-Tarts? Like, I need my cherry Pop-Tarts, right? I need my Wingstop. And I can't imagine that you could be eating that, right? Getting prepared for that.
No, I'm not supposed to. I would still sometimes.
So, I mean, the diet, the training, I imagine there's some semblance of sacrifice, whatever that looked like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time, energy, diet. What did that process look like from when he was like, you should do that, and he said, you know what, I will, to when you're walking across that stage? What does that process look like?
Okay, so initially being a trainer, I thought that I could coach myself.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I know what to do. And I tried that for about 2 months.
Okay.
And I was like, something's not right. Like, I don't think I'm doing the right thing. Let me hire a coach.
Yeah.
So I hired a coach. He designed my meal plan and gave me workouts, but I'm comfortable with the workouts. It's more the meal plan. And right away, like after 4, 5, 6 weeks, I started seeing, okay, now I'm going in the right direction.
Interesting.
My diet is very, very strict. And that is the hard part. It's not about taste. It's about getting it down. And a lot of times, I want to have that burger. I want to have pizza. But I just keep imagining the stage.
Yeah.
And everybody else is going through the same thing. So, we got to bring our best package to the stage. So, the diet is honestly the hardest thing. It is day in, day
I believe
out,
it.
day in, day out.
I can't imagine.
Same thing. Literally, I eat the same thing
what
every
do you eat?
single day. So for breakfast, I have 4 egg whites and 2 whole eggs,
Okay.
and a quarter cup of cream of rice.
Okay.
Baby food pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I'll get half a cup of fruit. That's my breakfast.
Okay. All right.
And then every 2 to 2.5 hours, I alternate between chicken breast or ground turkey.
Okay.
Both have a cup of veggies, and depending on my carb, whether it's rice or sweet potatoes or red potatoes, I literally have to measure everything out to
Wow.
a T. And then my last meal, I can have like salmon or steak.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's 6 meals a day,
Okay.
a gallon of water.
What is the reasoning behind that? 6 meals a day.
6 meals a day is basically to keep your metabolism up. Because if you go too long without eating, your metabolism starts to slow,
Okay.
which means you're burning less calories while at rest.
Yeah.
So, and for me right now, I'm trying to grow, so I'm trying to put on muscle.
Okay.
I need to eat to put on muscle.
Sure.
So that was my biggest thing before. I wasn't eating enough.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, and then outside of diet, it's just being consistent in the gym 6 days a week.
Wow. How long each time you go into the gym, how long do you spend on working out?
Average is about an hour and a half to 2.
Do you do multiple times a day? Is it one time a day?
So right now, because I'm bulking and growing, I'm doing 1.
Okay.
So it's my strength training followed by my cardio, and then once I start getting into my cutting phase, it'll go to 2.
Okay.
So I'll do like a fasted cardio before my first meal, and then cardio at the end. And I mean, towards peak week, you're doing 2 hours of cardio.
Wow.
With like no carbs.
2 hours straight?
No, so an hour in the morning before my first
Sorry,
meal,
okay.
and an hour at the end of.
Okay.
Yeah. All on the stairs.
AJ's over here looking like, what in the world?
I know. It's wild. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
What do you do when you feel like you've had enough? So what I mean by that is like the diet, right? We're all gonna hit that point where it's like like you mentioned, I need that cheeseburger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you I guess withhold from that, right? Like, or is there a day where you're like, look, we all hit that time, no matter how dedicated you are, right? Whether you are Michael Phelps in the pool or Michael Jordan on the court, it's like, I'm not feeling going today. Like, I don't feel like being in the gym. I want to be at home watching Netflix. When that happens, because we're all human, what do you do? Like, I know you mentioned you see the stage, but are there, and I know you said you must take a day off because you said it from the gym because you do 6 days a week. So there is that 7th day where you're resting. But during those other 6 days where you might just not be feeling it, I mean, do you ever allot for, you know what, I'm going to give myself that day, or I'm going to give myself this meal, or maybe it's built into your meal calendar, but what do you do for that relief?
It happens, and more now than before. I just listen to my body.
Yeah.
In the initial prep before my first show, I was like, no, like I have to do like this 100% perfect. But like since I've competed, I'm like, you know what, there's a life after this.
Yes.
And if you're feeling tired or you just don't feel like it, like as far as a workout, listen to your body and take the rest. They always say like a short workout's better than no workout, which I believe that too.
Yes.
But I mean, it's not going to kill you to take a day off
every once in a while.
Same with the meals. I just eat it because I'm like,
yeah.
Once I eat it and
yes.
Satisfy that craving, my stomach will usually hurt because I've been eating so clean.
Yes.
And I just kind of get it out of my system, and then I want to go back to the clean.
Right.
But you need that break, and it's not.
So do you build that into your diet plan? I suppose.
So the coach that I'm using gives me because I'm growing right now. I get a cheat meal a week.
Okay.
So it's not a cheat day.
Sure. Right.
I get to pick one meal.
Okay.
A week.
What does that meal usually look like?
It's usually a burger and fries.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite place you go?
Honestly,
I'm a big fan of the Burger King bacon double cheeseburger.
Ew.
Everybody just turned their nose up in the room. Wow. Okay.
I'm not a fan of Burger King, but
Sonic?
I'm
You
about
like
to try
Sonic?
it.
Five Guys?
Yeah,
I mean, Five Guys
I
wants to
just
charge
do
you like an arm and a
Whataburger.
leg. So, oh, okay,
Yeah,
Whataburger. We are in San
I just
Antonio.
keep it like
Okay.
local.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
No, but yeah, or sometimes I mean, I really love pizza, but he's
Yeah.
like, no with the pizza, like
Really?
no pizza ever,
Is there a reason
because
to?
it just sticks to you.
Okay.
But I'll still eat it. I mean, I just have a slice. It's
Yeah.
not gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I might have to do some more cardio or whatever, but like, just satisfy those cravings and
Yeah.
keep it moving.
Are there competitions that you are looking, I don't know, in the next few years to like almost like a bucket list of a competitions you're trying you would like to be at?
Mm. So honestly, when I did this, I said it was a bucket list type thing.
Yes.
And I was just gonna do one and walk away, but now it's become an addiction and it's
Yeah.
like my life. So I would like to eventually get first, obviously.
So how did you do it the first one?
I got third.
Oh,
And
wow.
my age group, which is masters, so
Yeah.
it's like 35 and up.
Okay.
But there were maybe 30 girls or so. So
Third out of third. Wow,
Mhm,
that's
you have to-
impressive.
I mean, yeah. For my first show,
That's
honestly, I
awesome.
was disappointed in myself. But
Really?
then when I stopped and thought about it, okay, there were quite a few females out
Yeah.
there. You have to get top 5 to bring home medal.
Wow.
I did all right,
Yeah.
but I can't get less than third now. So it has to be second or first.
I understand that. I can understand that. But I think that sometimes we get so bogged down in our process or in the pursuit of a goal. Sometimes like you said, like third that's a big deal. You know what I mean, for a first time, and I think that that is good. Like you said, kind of step back and be like, I medaled. That's pretty cool. So where was that competition at?
That was in Waxahachie.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the next one you're going to do this coming spring. Is that in the same?
They're all usually around Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay.
So I'm thinking this one's Fort Worth. I need to double check, but yeah, somewhere
Okay.
close.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
How does that help you as a personal trainer, your bodybuilding? Does that, I mean, in how you're able to convey what you're providing your clients, right? So I imagine if I'm being instructed by a bodybuilder, like I'm probably going to tune in a little bit. I'm going to listen a little bit more versus somebody, that is,
Mm-hmm.
not a bodybuilder or not fit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How does that help you as a trainer?
It definitely helps. So it looks like I know what I'm doing. I guess makes a difference. Because some of the trainers that I work with, it's like they look like they need training.
Really?
So
Yeah.
nobody wants to be trained by someone who
It doesn't know what they're
doesn't
doing.
know what they're doing.
Sure.
But it's definitely helped. I feel like I am like my own walking billboard.
Yeah.
I just stopped at the gas station and it's like someone's like, "Are you a trainer?" I mean,
That's gotta feel pretty good.
Trainer, but like usually I'll have my trainer shirt.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like, "Are you a trainer?" So
That's
but,
cool.
I mean, it's definitely helped. My clients are more in tune to listen, like you said. I always let them know that my goals and their goals are different, but this is what I did. This is what I do.
Yes.
We kind of modify it to fit them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely been a plus.
Yeah.
For sure.
You mentioned that when you decided to go into bodybuilding and you wanted to pursue, you were going to lock in on a competition, and you kind of were doing it on your own for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you decided you wanted to bring somebody in to coach you.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times it'll be ego, I would think, but people are hesitant. They think, oh, I know this. I know what I'm doing. I don't need somebody to coach.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody does already have that knowledge where they don't need that.
Yeah.
But as somebody that's already a certified, you've got the certification that says you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you hadn't really been a bodybuilder, but you knew there was something you want to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been in the fitness world. What did you have any issue bringing in somebody else? You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people kind of they may have their guard up against that. Well, I don't need that.
Yeah. No, honestly, I tried it on my own, and that's why I felt like if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right, not just be guessing. I didn't have a lot of time because I had already picked a show date,
Okay.
and so I was under time as well.
Sure.
And I get asked a lot, like, you're a trainer, why do you have a coach?
Yes.
For the same reasons. I want to be held accountable. And I want someone to tell me what to do, and I just do that.
Yes.
versus like, let me try this, let me try that. Because everybody's different. And when it comes to bodybuilding and competing, like these guys and girls out there, they know exactly what to do. Your body is like a science, it's an experiment.
Yes.
And I feel now that I've had my coach for some time, like about a year almost, yeah, this month makes a year, I can probably do it on my own now.
Yeah.
I feel confident now.
Yes.
I see what he's doing, how he's doing it. He's taught me along the way. So, but initially, it was just more accountable.
Okay.
Just keeping me accountable.
What advice do you have to somebody that wants to get into bodybuilding, right? So, I mean, what if you could talk to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
before you went in? Like, what advice do you have for somebody that would be in that same position that you were?
I would say do it. I don't care where you're at in fitness, or like where your journey is starting. If it's something you want to do, do it. But approach it with an open mind. I sacrifice a lot.
Can you speak? I just want to take a pause on that because I'm glad you said that, because there is a theme that everybody comes on here that talks about the word sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could just elaborate as much as you want,
Mm-hmm.
but what is that? Sacrifice. Speak to that, please.
So by sacrifice, I just mean like, like my day in and day out, as we spoke about earlier, is so structured. My time is very, very limited with extra things that
Flexibility.
I want to do. Flexibility. I feel like it can take a toll on a relationship.
Okay.
That's kind of my thing too. But he wasn't supportive of my goals, and I needed someone who, I've always been supportive of his, vice versa type thing. So when I say sacrifice, I mean like your time. You've got to be dedicated. It's going to take a toll. You can get burnt out. That's why it's important to take those breaks.
Yes.
But I feel sometimes like, am I being a good mother? Like, because it's a lot about me. And I feel sometimes my kids are just like in the background, but they're still fed, they're still taken care of, they're still doing great in school.
Yes.
They have everything that they need and more. So I know that me doing this for myself sometimes feels selfish, but it means I've got to have a timed schedule, like
Sure.
every day.
Sure. Literally
to the T. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate my situation happened the way that it did.
I think there's value, even, kind of what you just talked about, but I think that also kids see, there can be an upside, personal opinion here. I think there can be an upside to see children seeing their parents work for something. There is
Mm-hmm.
lessons in that. And I think that often those, they don't come to, those lessons don't bloom for those children until years later, personal
Mm-hmm.
opinion. But I think that it is they will understand what hard work looks like. They understand what work ethic looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You talk a lot about managing your time. They will understand that. And it's one of those things. I think it's going to be a long-term thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes.
No, that's 100% right. And with my first one, that was another thing that kept me going, was I wanted them to see me, because I had wanted to quit a lot, and just give up, but I wanted them to see me finish something that I started, and be proud of me. And they were there at my show, and of course it's long. Those things are long.
I've been to one for a friend about 10 years ago in Florida, and they are lengthy.
Yeah. They were like, how much longer? And I'm just like,
when are
okay,
you getting
hold
up
on.
there?
But yeah, so it's been just like you said, like something that they've seen their mom, work towards,
Yeah.
Proud of. They're my biggest cheerleaders.
That's very cool.
And I feel like a lot of what I do is for them.
Yeah.
Even though this is like about me, I know they're learning off of it.
Yes.
You know.
They see what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
They see what's possible, and I think it's really cool for kids to see that firsthand.
Yeah.
Very cool. Kind of going back, I know I kind of paused the conversation what you were talking about, but if you could go back and talk to yourself, or a year ago before you were doing your competition, or somebody else that is, they're physically fit, and they're doing great, and they want to do bodybuilding, but they're maybe on the fence. You mentioned, being prepared for sacrifice. That's kind of where we left off.
Yeah.
What is your message to that person?
It's a job. It's literally a job. It can be done. but it's a job.
Yeah.
You can't half-ass it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to go.
Bleep.
Yeah, bleep. You can't. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No.
I butted.
No.
You've got to be 100% like into it.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Is
I
it?
didn't realize how expensive it was until I started. I was like, oh my God, like I need a job just to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
From your supplements to your food to the coach to the suit to the shoes,
Wow.
the robe,
Yeah.
your posing, like all of that stuff
Yeah.
is a lot. So if you want to do something like that, I would definitely do your research. I didn't. I just was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then as things started coming in, I was just like, oh man, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely rewarding.
That's awesome.
It's a bucket list for sure.
Yeah. What does go into your diet? We talked about it a lot, but as far as time goes, going back to time management, you mentioned all these meals, right? 6 meals a day.
Oh my God.
I mean, do you set aside? It sounds like an entire day just to meal prep.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm always cooking, I'm always eating, and I'm always washing dishes.
Yeah.
Like that's literally every single day.
Yeah.
So like I'll batch cook my protein like on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then I'll do like my veggies and carbs in between. So
Okay.
they last
A little more
longer.
fresher. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. Like I'm trying to get sponsored by someone who can meal prep for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just to ease the load.
Sure.
Yeah, because my kids don't eat that sometimes.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard too, because I got to cook myself.
Double meals.
and
Yeah.
3 meals.
Yeah.
They don't eat the same thing.
Oh.
So yeah, it's very, very time consuming.
Gotcha.
I hate it.
How long have you been in San Antonio?
San Antonio. So how old am I? Oh, yeah, 37. A while.
A while?
At least 20 years or so.
Okay. All right. Do you plan?
Sounds like a lot.
Do you plan to stay here long term? Do you, as far as building your client base and?
Yeah, I think so because my family's all here.
Okay.
At least while they're around.
Yeah.
I just can't be too far away from my mom and dad. But yeah, definitely, I love San Antonio.
Yeah.
I wasn't born and raised here. But
Where are you from originally?
Pleasanton.
Okay.
Small little town south.
Yeah.
You know where it's at?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
That's where I'm from, but I've been here since I finished school. And yeah, I think with obesity being the way that it is here, I think like 65% of adults in San Antonio are overweight. Like this is a gold mine.
I could see
honestly.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
If you could, in 15 to 20 years, looking back, right from now, in the next 15 to 20 years, what would you want to say you've accomplished in any aspect? Fitness or otherwise, business or otherwise, family otherwise, whole picture.
In 15 to 20 years, I would like to have opened that indoor facility.
Yes.
And still have it. I think if I take care of myself, well, it would be like 55. I'll still be good.
Yeah.
I would still like to pursue physical therapy.
Yeah.
I would like to do both. I hope eventually, because I don't want to have any regrets. And I think that not pursuing PT school will always be one.
Interesting. Okay.
If I don't.
Yeah.
So, those two things for sure.
So you mentioned that you have worked with the geriatric population when it comes to physical therapy, and we kind of mentioned that we think that maybe the generation behind them that's coming up will have a more physical fitness mind, a mind more geared for that and understanding of that. Mm-hmm. But what can people do as they approach that age to give themselves a better quality of life, to avoid maybe going to physical therapy, or does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I would just say baby steps with everything. A lot of people want to make these drastic changes all at once.
Sure.
But the habits that we have up until this point, or whatever time you decide that, okay, I want to try something different, We just got to start little at a time reversing them. So, for example, start trying to drink more water throughout the day. You
Yeah.
know, once you get that down, start trying to have like a healthy breakfast. You know, if not every day, maybe 5 days a week. Um, Start trying to get a little bit more active throughout your day. Activities of daily living are also, that's like, what you do every day, day in, and not necessarily going to the gym. Um, those things we tend to lose as we get older. So just moving, just keep moving. Go out for a walk, get a workout buddy. If you need a trainer for accountability, get a trainer.
Yeah.
Just find ways to incorporate being more active in your day a little bit at a time.
Gotcha.
You know, don't set unrealistic goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you're less likely to stick with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely take a little at a time, and then you're more likely to succeed and stay more consistent as you get older. Obviously, the
Sure.
main goal is to be as independent as
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
So yeah, just little at a time.
Awesome. Last question, and it's for anybody that's on that fence. I don't say on the fence, but maybe that needs that little bit of encouragement. That maybe they haven't been in the gym in a while. It's been a couple of years, or they feel hesitant, maybe because they feel a little intimidated when you walk into a weight room and you don't know how to use all the equipment. There's been a couple of times where I've seen a piece of equipment. I'm like, I don't know how you use that. I'll just avoid that. Do you have any words, some parting words for that person to encourage them to get back in the gym?
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and honestly, I have to remind my own clients and myself sometimes, everybody's there for the same reason. We all have different goals or similar goals, but we're all there for the same reason. I'm trying not to like compare where you are with where someone else is, because we all start from somewhere.
Yes.
Again, back to the just taking little baby steps, something similar with that mindset for someone who's on the fence. I would suggest getting someone to do it with you again, having a partner. Sometimes that makes it a little bit easier because you have someone there by your side.
Yeah.
Someone to motivate you. But yeah, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. The machines do tell you how to use them, but it doesn't look good when you're sitting there reading the instructions. But yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere, so just approach it with a positive mindset.
Yeah.
The best that you can.
Yeah. Where can people find you on Instagram?
So my IG is Tracy B Training.
Okay.
And I've slowly been trying to be more active on it. I have days where I'm MIA, but yeah, I'm trying to be more active. I want to start posting more health-related fitness tips and facts and workout videos, increase my base a little bit. But yeah, Tracy B Training.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. I think people will definitely find value to your story and be able to connect with it. I think you have a great story, and I hope that people feel encouraged. If they haven't been in the gym, to at least get there and start, and if they're already on that journey, to keep going. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This has been another episode of Unrestricted with Ryan Johnson. Catch us next week when we post our episode on Monday. Check us out on Mondays on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks again.